When your cat follows you everywhere, do you actually know what they're trying to say? Yes, it can seem sweet. Maybe they're just hoping you'll feed them, or maybe they're simply curious about what you're doing. But behind that constant shadowing, there's something deeper that most people miss. It's one of the most emotionally vulnerable things your cat can do, and if you misunderstand it, which most owners do, you might miss one of the clearest ways your cat tells you they trust you. Let's start with what this quiet little habit really means. 1. It's usually not about food. Have you ever walked from the living room to the kitchen only to find your cat quietly following behind you? Most people assume it's because the cat wants food. Sometimes that's true. But here's what's actually happening. If your cat follows you even when it's nowhere near mealtime, if they trail behind you into rooms where nothing exciting is happening, or if they simply sit nearby without asking for anything, food isn't the real reason. They're tracking something much more important. You. Cats are naturally observant animals. In the wild, paying attention to trusted members of their group help them stay safe and recognize opportunities. Your movements have become meaningful. When your cat quietly follows you from room to room, they're treating you as the center of their environment. Think about that for a second. They aren't chasing dinner. They're choosing to keep you within sight because your presence has become part of what makes them feel secure. And by the way, if your cat also waits outside the bathroom door or quietly sits outside a closed room, don't brush it off. We'll come back to why they do that near the end, and it's something many owners never realize. 2. Your presence literally changes how safe they feel. Here's what most people don't realize. Researchers who study feline behavior have found that cats build social bonds much more deeply than they were once given credit for. A 2019 study from Oregon State University found that many cats form secure attachment relationships with their caregivers, similar to the attachment patterns seen in young children. That doesn't mean your cat thinks you're their parent. It means your presence becomes a source of emotional stability. Here's what's actually happening. When your cat follows you, they're often checking that their safest person is still nearby. Your voice, your footsteps, even the familiar rhythm of your daily routine can lower uncertainty in their environment. Animal cognition research shows that predictable, trusted companions help reduce stress in many social species. For your cat, you're part of that stability. Think about that for a second. You aren't just someone who opens food cans. You're part of the emotional map they use to navigate their world. And here's where it gets even more powerful. The more consistently you respond with calmness and safety, the more your cat begins to see staying near you as one of the safest decisions they can make. 3. They're quietly marking you as family. Have you ever noticed your cat following you, then brushing against your legs, or rubbing their face against your hand before walking beside you again? Most people think it's simply asking for attention. Here's what's actually happening. Cats have scent glands around their cheeks, forehead, chin, and the base of their tail. When they rub against you, they're leaving tiny scent markers that humans can't smell. Behavioral scientists call this scent sharing. To another cat, those invisible chemical signals communicate familiarity and belonging. In other words, your cat isn't just walking with you, they're reinforcing the idea that you belong together. Think about that for a second. Every gentle head bump, every brush against your ankle, every slow rub before following you into another room. Those aren't random habits. They're quietly renewing your place inside their social circle. What makes this even more meaningful is that your scent becomes important to them too. Following you means staying close to one of the smells that represent safety, comfort, and home. Now, before we keep going, if you're learning something new about your cat, hit like and subscribe. That's how we get these videos to more cat owners who want to love their cats the right way. 4. This habit began long before you ever met. Here's where it gets even deeper. Why would an independent predator evolve to follow someone around? The answer starts in kittenhood. Young kittens naturally shadow their mother. They learn where to eat, where to rest, what's dangerous, and what's safe. Following isn't weakness, it's learning through trust. As cats became domesticated over thousands of years, many of those early attachment behaviors adapted to life with humans. Studies on domestic cats reveal that they often transfer parts of those social behaviors to the people they trust most. Here's what's actually happening. When your cat calmly follows you through the house, they're repeating an ancient survival behavior, except now you're the trusted guide. Think about that. An instinct that once helped wild kittens survive is now being directed towards you, not because they have to, because somewhere along the way, your cat decided you're worth following. 5. They don't do this for just anyone. Have you ever wondered why your cat follows you, but ignores everyone else in the house? This is where most owners get it wrong. Cats aren't automatically social with every human they meet. Trust is selective. Researchers who observe feline social behavior consistently find that cats choose where to invest their attention. That attention is valuable. When your cat repeatedly chooses to stay close to you, they're making a decision. Out of everyone they could watch, everyone they could sit beside, everyone whose footsteps they could follow, they chose yours. Think about that for a second. They've watched how you move. They've learned your routines. They recognize your voice. And over hundreds of quiet interactions, they've decided you're predictable enough to stay close to. That's not dependency, that's confidence. Because trust, for a cat, is never given casually, it's earned. 6. Following you is an act of vulnerability. Remember earlier when I mentioned the cat waiting outside your bathroom door? This is what I was talking about. Most owners think their cat is simply being nosy. But here's what's actually happening. Cats dislike losing track of important members of their social world. When a door suddenly separates you, your cat can't see, smell, or monitor what's happening as easily, so they wait. Not because they're trying to invade your privacy, because your disappearance creates uncertainty, and uncertainty is something cats naturally try to reduce. Here's what most people never realize. Following someone means exposing yourself. A cat that's walking beside you isn't hiding. They're not staying in the safest corner. They're choosing proximity over caution. For an animal whose survival depends on staying alert, that's surprisingly vulnerable. Think about that. Every hallway your cat walks beside you, every staircase they quietly climb after you, every room they enter simply because you entered first, they're making the same decision over and over. I feel safer with you than without you. That's one of the deepest forms of trust a cat can express. Not with words, not with dramatic gestures, but with quiet, repeated choices. 7. If they suddenly stop, pay attention. There's one final thing every cat owner should know. If your cat has always followed you and suddenly stops without any obvious reason, don't ignore it. Sometimes cats become less active simply because they're getting older. Sometimes they're sleeping more. But sudden changes in social behavior can also signal stress, pain, anxiety, or illness. Behavioral changes are often one of the earliest signs that something isn't right. Here's what's actually happening. Your cat may not cry out for help. Instead, they simply stop doing the little things they used to do, following you, greeting you, waiting nearby. If you notice those changes lasting more than a day or two, especially alongside changes in eating, grooming, or energy levels, it's worth speaking with your veterinarian. Because understanding your cat isn't only about recognizing expressions of love, it's also about recognizing quiet calls for help. Sometimes those two things look surprisingly similar, so when your cat follows you from room to room, they're not simply wandering behind you. They're staying close to someone they've decided matters. They're choosing your scent, your presence, your routine, your safety. That's not clinginess, that's trust. That's a relationship built through hundreds of small moments your cat remembers, even if you don't. And that quiet little shadow walking behind you, it was never a small behavior to them, and it shouldn't be small to you either. The next time your cat quietly appears beside you, don't just see a pet following its owner. See an animal making one of the most vulnerable choices it knows how to make, choosing you.